Hey guys, this is Triptych. I have another replay for you today. This is a 1 vs 1 between Defiant and UglyTheGreat. And as we can see, Defiant is Borg and UglyTheGreat is Federation. The map is dual. And let's see what they do. I've had a very nice long day of uploading videos today. I just uploaded 7 videos, so... and now I'm all caught up, so this is actually one that was recorded today. By which I mean Saturday, March 15th. Because I was posting ones from February 8th, February 15th earlier. So, yes. As you may recall, this is a relatively small map that in some ways favors the Borg. But, I mean, there are many strategies that the other races can use as well. These blue nebulas make a good escape point for the Borg to go in and raid the mining and then escape back to the blue nebula. On the other hand, because it's a smaller map, the Federation tend to do pretty well putting up 1 or 2 turrets and then just sitting tight with what they have. So as you can see, Ugly is getting his warp-in rush. He started with the Antares yard first before the engineering, which is the sign of the warp-in rush. If you go small yard chips, you can actually get the engineering, and the time to research chassis level 1 is the exact same amount of time as building a factory, or Antares yard. So you'd start with the engineering, and then as soon as it finishes, get the yard and get the research at the same time. But if you're doing a Starfleet command rush, then you get the Antares yard first because it unlocks the Starfleet science, and then you build science and engineering side by side like this, and you can get your warp-ins like a minute earlier, which can make a big difference in some cases. In this one, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. I mean, you can't go raiding with those ships, but you can get them for defense. The Borg early game is very specific on how long it takes to get your first ships, because they build the conduction matrix as soon as they start. I mean, you can build the conduction matrix down here, but most people build it the moment they come out of the yard, just for that, like, 15 seconds, 10 seconds faster of building it up there. And also because people don't really kill conduction matrices. They have a lot of hit points and they're cheap. So, there's the collective uplink. I'm expecting to see a skube since he just hit 10 nodes, although it might be a dodecahedron. There's the Starfleet command. He's building in a really forward position, but I mean, he's not really worried about the Borg trying to kill his structures early on. And just for reference, this is a Risner avatar, it looks like. So his chassis level upgrades will be better, but his small ships will tend to be weaker. And Defiant is optimized Borg, but I am expecting to see Dode or possibly early assimilator, we'll see. Or I mean adapter, since he is not getting the first skube. Ugly's worried about an assimilator rush, but I'm not seeing it. You know what? Node's level 2 and only single miners. I wonder if he's trying to do a sphere rush, like earliest possible. In which case, I'm not sure, but I think having all the other constructors would make that go faster. So this is interesting to see what he has. However, this is kind of a good time for a rush like this because Ugly has also locked himself up. He's just now starting 1 monsoon, which as a Risner avatar won't be too tough. He's going to get a Starfleet command soon, and then he'll have ships. But aside from those, like those 3 ships and the monsoon is all he'll have for a while. All he'll have, I say, but that's still plenty. And he's now going to get the center moon position and get a repair yard here, since he sees that like both these players are sort of gauging each other and how slowly they're doing early. Oh, there they are. Okay, so Defiant has actually split his early constructors. It's a strategy to get a little bit more income in the early game. And at this point, he's definitely going for a sphere. I mean, I just don't see what else he could be trying to build with this much. So, it's possible Ugly is going to try to adapt to this in a funny way. Instead of going for the center, he might be going even further. Where is he going? Is he going to try to turret rush this side? I think we're seeing some cheese, or anti-cheese. There goes the first Warpin. He got an Ambassador, which is nice for early raiding, because it takes half damage from the starbase. And also has one of the highest offensive values. And he's sending him right in there, like he's not messing around. This Borg miner will probably be pushed away. Although, it's not going to be too much of a headache, because once it drops this dilithium and leaves, like, it will have done all it needs for Defiant's build. Although Defiant might want to build another uplink over here where it's safer. Yeah, there he goes. He currently has both of his miners docked, so his dilithium's going up nicely. And he's about to hit 50 connections, so I would say, what, like 400 of each more, and he'll be able to build an early sphere. He's even starting it now, but I think he's tri-locked at the moment, and he won't get any until these guys dock. So he might want to early dock that. It's a really good time to early dock one of your miners. There he goes. He's early docking the dilithium miner, so he doesn't want to get the holding beam one. But this is going to be a very nice early sphere. And there's Ugly's answer. He's getting his Antares yard right up in his face. He's hoping that if he does this, he'll be able to expand and mine the rest of the map. Yeah, there he goes. And he'll be able to just keep the pressure on almost indefinitely. Let's see. Defiant got his dock, but wasn't that enough? Was he that close? I think that might be an early dock on the Tritanium. Ugly has not scouted this uplink yet. This stinks. You can see he was trying to min-max it so closely, and he's early docking again. That's got to be really frustrated for that to be sitting there. Any second now, though, it's going to start. There we go. So, judging by that, I'd say that's probably more like a prime sphere. Because, like I said, he could have built a holding beam triple regen sphere is about 850, I think, maybe 900. Once the uplink is built. But since he spent about 1100, probably like triple regen prime or something, or possibly multiple primes. We'll just have to see what it is when it comes out. Over here you can see, even though Ugly's initial build took him a lot of resources for these structures, now he's going to do really well. And there's even a platform here. Although the sphere, the sphere will be able to handle this. So this is going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Although if this conduction matrix dies, it's so cheap to build a new one, and he has an uplink here. I kind of want to see Defiant build an uplink back in this corner so that he has one. And that's probably what he's thinking right now. And there goes the sphere, and it is a triple regen prime sphere. It's a very tanky combat sphere. And he's going to get right in there. Even though there's another one building, he'll probably kill this monsoon. I don't know if he can get out. Although the other ships may be able to make it to the yard. Oh, subsystem hits. Okay, he got the kill. And this Excelsior has 80 AI, so it takes reduced damage from medium range. So it's going to be tricky for him to get kills right next to this yard. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get kills, so he needs to start getting, yeah, he's attacking the constructor. And you can see he's using up his regeneration. So now this ship is both regenerating hull, and it's regenerating special energy. And there goes, the constructor is going to get in, I think. Oh, maybe. If he kills that, he'll be in a better position. Oh, but it started repairing. This is bad. So he cannot get kills. So he has to get scubs or something, which is going to be so tough for him. I mean, his sphere can just run away. So the sphere's not going to die, but neither are the fed ships. And since he cannot get kills this close to a yard, his only chance is to bait Ugly away. And Ugly's already got his second warp and recharge. That was so fast. Okay, so the conduction matrix is going to die. The second sphere is already about to go, but he should not have used that uplink. He should have built one back here. Because you can see he's delayed on this one as well. I wonder if he's going to early dock a miner. Oh, he doesn't even have the miners to dock. That was a bad call. If Ugly sees this, he'll probably take all his guys and come kill this. And then it'll be over. Which is too bad, because I really wanted to see what would have happened if he got 2 spheres. Now, if these Federation guys do come all the way down here and attack, the sphere might be able to get kills. It might be able to kill stuff before they get back to the yard. I'm not sure. As long as the sphere keeps firing, that's all he really cares about. There's 2 ambassadors in this mix, though. And he regenerates. And there goes the next sphere. So, if this finishes, I wonder if Ugly sees this and if he's going to try to stop it. I think he's more focused on this sphere, but you can't kill that sphere, because the sphere can just run back by the starbase. Yeah, the only thing Defiant is afraid of is the sphere getting sniped. And now they're trying in earnest. No, maybe. This is weird. Like, Ugly's in a bad situation here. There he's upgrading his second platform. He's really, really trying to lock down the Borg. But this sphere is going to finish. I think if he had focused all of his fire, he could have taken down that sphere. But since Defiant got nodes level 2 so early, he'll have plenty of connections for the rest of this game. And now they're going to the Intrepids, which Risner Intrepids get the damage bonus, and they take reduced damage from medium range spheres. So now there are 2 regenerate prime spheres, and this is enough to kill off ships. So Ugly's in a bad spot if he isn't really careful. I mean, he might even lose this ambassador, depending on how the micro goes, depending on how these ships get into the yard. Let's see. There's one. The other sphere is getting physics blocked, so the ambassador makes it in. This damaged sphere just regenerated again. Now they're firing on a monsoon, though, and they're going to kill it. Probably. Maybe. No. No. Oh, man. Gotta be careful of that micro. And all the physics blocks going on here. So both spheres have regenerated now, and they're retreating. And there's just so many fed ships, and these platforms have a lot of offense. But any minute now, Defiant is going to rebuild his conduction matrix, if he thinks of it. He's a bit distracted by all this micro, but he really needs to get that conduction matrix building right now, because he's almost ready for a 3rd sphere. And like Ugly could be sending a couple ships, like 2 Intrepids over here to raid this mining. And I think as soon as that monsoon sees it, he probably will. And then Defiant's income will go down, but oh, conduction matrix. There he's going. And like when this miner will finish its cycle and dock, so that'll be 600 for him. If this one docks, that'll be almost enough for another sphere, and a 3rd sphere would be very nice for him right now. I think he can kill this constructor though, but only if his ships get way, like, move up and get way in the middle of this, which is kind of dangerous for him right now. But yeah, if you're not aggressive enough, it's going to get into the repair yard. You really got to play aggressive. And it's a bit tricky. He can't leave them alone too long, because if he does, they will finish the platform they're trying to build. Meanwhile, Ugly's resources are pretty high. He's got this, and he's expanding over here with his mining. I want to see more freighters, but he's also so focused on micro, he hasn't even noticed that his Starfleet command is ready. Maybe he could get a Teutoburg. Actually, a Teutoburg would be interesting. I don't know how powerful its weapon disable ability is. I think it's kind of weak. But if he had a Teutoburg and he weapon disabled one of these spheres in the middle of a fight, that would be really nice for him. Canceling for that constructor again. Now they're trying to kill an Intrepid. Let's see if they can get that. And there it turns around. And yeah, these spheres would have to chase and be behind the Federations to get kills. So maybe he's just gonna, like, he's not killing anything of the Federation, and he's just regenerating their damage. Although you really want to sit out for a minute and regenerate back to full health, full energy if you're going to go in against these turrets. And Ugly might just start building turrets further up. There's some damage on that Intrepid. He might go for it and get the kill. Yep, I think he's going to get that kill. Maybe, maybe. Oh, no, he doesn't. There's just too much damage off of these phaser platforms and all the ships. And now this sphere is getting in a bit of danger. So we're about to see the next uplink, and we're on another set now. When this minor set docks, he'll have enough for another sphere. And then we'll have a third sphere, and like I say, Ugly just realized he had a warpin ready. No, that's a pretty good pull statistic-wise. I really think he needs to kill off this Borg mining, because there's nothing that Defiant can do. I mean, if he sends everything over there, then Defiant could kill his base here. So it's very much a game of chicken right now. But as you can see, Ugly is slowly expanding across the map. Now he's building freighters. And he can just start to bury Defiant under fed ships if Defiant isn't careful. Because Defiant has a very solid position, and there goes the sphere. He's going to have 3 spheres, which is going to be so difficult to deal with for Ugly. And if he gets too far, like, now he's going to lose ships. Like, he might lose an Excelsior in the time it takes him to get back to the yard. No? Okay, Defiant's backing down. And you can see he has good health, but his energy's still low on this one. They're both desperately trying to get kills, but yeah, not enough. This ship needs to keep on regenerating its energy. That, I think, was just a mismicro. It got kited out on its own. And you can see Defiant already has enough connections for another sphere. I'm trying to keep track of these resources. I don't know how much it costs to take the uplink. I think it's around 1,800 total. But, I mean, he didn't have 1,800 for this. He had more like 1,600, so. Another triple regen prime. These are kind of defensive-oriented spheres. But, there goes a platform, and that one might finish. At this point, oh, there we go. He's popping his special. He's trying to kill it, but there's another sphere here. And that sensor nebula, oh, it mismicroed, but it might get into the yard. Let's see. They might get a sphere kill out of it. If they do, that's great, but there are still none of the Fed ships are dying. Because the Borg aren't... Okay, there, they might get one ship. So the first ship in quite a while dies. Or is that the first ship ever in this fight that just died? And you saw all those Fed ships with such low health regenerating. Now this sphere is taking damage, more and more turret damage. And all these Fed ships with their beefy shields are getting in. This one might die. Careful, careful, there it goes. The amount of hit points repaired by this group is really high. And this Intrepid could die. They're going for the platform in that key moment before it upgrades, and now he shouldn't even upgrade that. Although this sphere came back, and it's taking turret damage as well as ship damage, it might die. Yep, it's going to die now. There's nothing he can do. Because of that 1 second when it chased, maybe he lost control of it, maybe he wasn't, like, just for 1 second. It only took 1 second, and that ship is going to die. So there goes an Intrepid, but now there's Akira's coming out. And it looks like Ugly is just going to overwhelm him. Which is too bad, because he's about ready to get like a diamond or another sphere. But yeah, that was a very interesting look at 2 very cheesy strategies. The ridiculous sphere cheese and the ridiculous Federation yard proxy. So yeah, this is Triptych signing off.